Guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. I live in Rochester and my experience of the new build flat that I've lived in behind Rochester railway station in Rochester has not been a good experience. I've spoken to a lot of people and some of them say they look nice, but when you're inside them, you can hear every noise and they're made cheaply. As I've told you before, the lift keeps breaking down, the handles are coming off the cupboards and the doors, and my landlord doesn't appear to be bothered about anything. You see, once a landlord receives the money, they don't care about anything else. And it's not just housing agencies, the council, private landlords. You go into other people's flats, they've got holes in the ceiling, they've got mould, they've got scaffolding up because the flat's falling apart. So do you see what I mean? The guy's flat that I went round to the other day had scaffolding up at the windows. Scaffolding. And if you've got scaffolding up at the windows, unless you draw the curtains, you've got workers coming up the scaffolding and looking through the windows while you're in your bedroom, bathroom, and you're in your flat, which isn't nice, is it? A lot of houses in Medway are falling apart. They weren't built to last. So a lot of houses and buildings have got scaffolding up all over the place because they're falling apart. They weren't made to last that long. Right, if we go back to yesterday, when I walked out last night, when I came back, I just want to walk about and be quiet and be left alone. And I don't get paid a penny for acting. I'm not an actress. I'm just an ordinary person. But what goes on when I'm walking down the street is like a TV set. Someone had come out of somewhere and do something ridiculous. I saw a car smash outside my window at Lansdowne Court. A car literally smashed to pieces. It makes you afraid to go out because you don't know what's going to happen next. You just don't. Right? So I came back off the field. I wasn't very happy. And I was feeling a bit dizzy, actually, and a bit slow on my feet. And there was a silver car. Of course, I've told you that Charlotte and Stuart drives a silver car, and he takes my mother Jennifer to the cash point in Chatham, near the spa shop. My mum lives just off Upper Luton in Chatham, and I'm talking about me living in Rochester near Common Creek Wharf. So it makes you wonder why the police told me not to disclose where I was living, because they're trying to make out that it's my mother Jennifer doing these videos, and it's not. It's not my mother Jennifer's videos, and I'm not diagnosed with schizophrenia with paranoid delusions. That's my mother Jennifer. So anything that happens to me, they're trying to make out that I'm my mother who's got a mental health illness as bad as that. So that, they've started getting men to approach me. And this happened in 2008, and I'd been struck on the head. I was still a bit dizzy. I had a black eye when I came down from Gloucestershire in 2008, and I couldn't speak properly. And this guy approaches me out of nowhere and tries to initiate sex in the middle of a public place near a library. And I was vulnerable, and I'm still vulnerable. So they think, if they pretend that I'm my mother who's got schizophrenia, they can get away with sexually abusing me by making out that I'm mentally ill. But you shouldn't be allowed to abuse mentally ill people anyway. This is how the police were getting away with. They kept saying, she's got a mental health illness. They'd come round to my flat. Oh, she's got a mental health illness. I suggest you go to A&E, Crystal. Trying to make out that my mother Jennifer is Crystal to get them off sex abuse charges. That's what they've been doing all the way from 2008 onwards, pretending that I'm my schizophrenic mother, sexually abusing me and assaulting me, and the police have been covering up what they've been doing, because apparently on my records it says I've got chronic schizophrenia and I've never been diagnosed with schizophrenia. If you ask any of my past workers, it's always been depression and anxiousness, not schizophrenia. So that is what they've been doing. They've been making out I'm my mother so that they can sexually abuse me and get away with it. And then they try and make me act mad by, I've had my toes stood on, I've been assaulted, somebody came up to me to start an argument, don't you look like a pig? And you're not going to stand there and take abuse, are you? And of course I got cross. And then they would start taping it, trying to make out I'm my mad mother, but they'd actually stood on my feet and called me names to get a reaction. Now do you see? So they thought when that man did that to me on the field, that I'd scream and I'd shout and I'd act mad. But I've told the lady in the co-op what he's done, and she said she was going to tell him that I don't like to be touched. So she knows in the co-op, the lady on the counter knows on the co-op, because he said to me, the lady in the co-op blows kisses at him. That's what he said. And I said, has he ever tried to kiss you? And she said, no, I don't let him get that close. I'm just warning other women, that's all. That someone can appear friendly and you want to chat to a dog walker, but then, you suddenly get... he grabbed my hand, he wanted to hold my hand around the field, and I felt very uncomfortable, and there was nobody on that field when he was doing that to me. Nobody at all. And then I managed to say, I didn't like his tongue down my throat. He did it 2 or 3 times. I managed to get away from him. I said, please don't do that in front of builders. I feel like an idiot. I got away from him. He went towards the co-op. He looked at the window to see if Kim was in there. And then he went, I'll see you in a month. Because that's what my son said to me over the phone. He said something about, I'll see you next month. So I came back off the field last night. I'm not ugly. No way am I ugly compared to some other people. And this guy had no teeth that I met. He had no teeth and greasy hair. He wears hats like I do in videos, but he's in his 60s. He's got no teeth and he's got greasy black hair mixed with grey, and he hides it underneath a hat. So as I was coming off the field, there was a car with a number plate with OG on it. I started that again. Look, OG, to try and provoke some kind of reaction out of me, because that's what they've been doing since I came to Chatham in 2008. Making out I'm my mentally ill mother and then sexually molesting me. That's what my dad did. He booked us in